Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You may be seated. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce to some as well as the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Michael De Silva.
Minister, my senior colleagues, police officers and staff, family and friends, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to police headquarters. Wayne, you didn't tell me we had so many people in the house. And this is really, really pleasing to see, because it's only been once or twice that we've had the pleasure of having a proper ceremony to celebrate the promotions of our staff. The way it was done in the past was very informal. As Commissioner, I've had one or two promotions myself. I can tell you that none of them were very memorable, other than the last one, when the Deputy and I were promoted at the same time a year ago in December, and that was quite memorable, unfortunately for all the wrong reasons. Crime was at its highest point in our history. So we decided last year that it was appropriate that we should take time out of our busy schedules and pause to celebrate what is the culmination of seriously hard work from the officers over to your right, over to my left. These officers are here not because they just sat down and took a test and that was it. They're here because they've worked hard and they've had to beat out lots of people that were in competition for the same post. And it's important as well that we have an opportunity to recognize the family and friends, because we know that it is your sacrifice that helps the officers become what they are. Without you to support them at midnight when everyone else is tucking in to go to sleep, or Christmas Day when everyone is tucking into Christmas turkey, these officers and their colleagues come to work and work to make Bermuda safer. Without your support, their progress in the organization and their promotion today might not be attainable. You have to recognize, hi, how are you? You have to recognize that for some of these officers, for the constables being promoted to sergeant, it is in fact their first promotion. We also have to recognize that for some of the officers, this may be their last promotion. Depends how long they decide to stay with us in the organization. So really today is about making this event special. And these two ranks particularly are incredibly important to the supervisory chain in the police service. The rank of sergeant and inspector hold the key to managing the day-to-day functions of the organization. And my colleagues will have heard me give this speech before. If you started at the top of the organization and the commissioners didn't come to work tomorrow, the 4 commissioners didn't come to work tomorrow, probably nobody would notice. But the more you go down the supervisory chain, when you start to have sergeants not show up, there'd be no one to actually manage anything. If you didn't have constables show up, there'd be no work done at all. But at these two ranks, what is significant from other ranks is that these officers are taking huge responsibility, because, like everyone, they're responsible for themselves, they're responsible for their actions, they're responsible for their decisions. But they are now responsible for the people they supervise. So they take on a huge task of responsibility, because at the same time of holding themselves accountable and holding their staff accountable, they're also there to mentor and teach and improve the skill set of the people that they work with. But their other big task is to somehow translate the strategy that comes from myself and my colleagues into operations. So we could write the best policing plan in the world and we could put it on the wall as we have done. If we don't have supervisors that are in tune with their staff and are able to explain to young constables what is expected of them and how to deliver it, the best laid plans would go unimplemented. Last year in our annual plan, we talked about people and relationships, and we put a huge investment in training around how we deal with leadership and management inside the organization. And to the 11 officers, you will get lots of advice on leadership and management and what the difference between those two things are. And some of you have actually benefited from some of the training you did last year. And you'll get lots of advice from your colleagues, from the senior staff, from your family and friends. But I just want to leave you with just a few thoughts. And these are things that have held very close to me throughout my career. And the very first one is all about how you treat people. Treat everyone with respect and dignity. Everyone. Not just the people you report to, but the subordinates you look after inside the organization. And outside the organization, not just the friendly people that support you, but the other people that don't actually want you to deal with them. If you treat everyone with respect and dignity, that will come back and pay huge dividends. This next one is huge. Walk the talk. Your staff will do what they see you doing, not what you say. So if you are late, they will be late. If you are lazy, they will be lazy. If you cut corners, they will cut corners. But if you are professional and you act with integrity, they will emulate that behavior from you. Walk the talk. Be an active listener. A lot of times as supervisors, we feel action-oriented. We must be the ones giving the orders. We must always have the answers. Be an active listener to your staff. Sometimes it's better to understand than it is for you to be understood. And inject humor in your life every single day. And that includes in the workplace. And laugh often, and laugh at yourself. Because what that does is it puts people at their ease, and it shows that you have a human side, and it guards against the development of self-importance. The official part of what we have to do has already been done, because it just simply requires for the rank of sergeant for a letter to be signed by myself. That's been done. For the rank of inspector, it requires a letter from the governor after consultation with the Public Service Commission. All of these things that have been done. But what we'd like to introduce into this ceremony is symbolic, where we'll ask the officers to come up and they will take an oath. Now, the oath is only required once in your career. If you make deputy commissioner twice in your career and a commissioner 3 times in your career. The oath is prescribed by law, and we will ask the officers to take the oath for their rank. And the reason for that is this. Not required in law, but we would like you, before you get your chevrons, or before you get your pips and put them on your shoulder, before you go into your next role, we would like you to remind yourselves of your commitment to the Bermuda community. And we would like you to do that in front of your family and friends so that they can help support you in maintaining that commitment. So we'll do that. We've got a little bit of paperwork up here. So pardon us, folks, as we transition everyone up here. We'll get through the formal part of the ceremony, and then I'll ask Minister Birch to close with a few words. Okay?